Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Why, yes, Patrick, it is definitely time that things will get crazy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And today, let me tell you, we got a lot of very fascinating stories in which we are going to be discussing about. Now, interestingly enough, though, this is not necessarily going to be an episode where most of the stories I will be talking about will focus on the cartoon, but it will definitely focus a lot on the crazy, and I think that's going to be the main thing that we are really going to be focusing on today's episode. Trust me, we will have a lot of fun, we will have a lot of things that we will discuss about, and trust me, this will be an episode that I'm sure we will not forget, and certainly not forget about the stories that we will be discussing here today. So with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you guys, are you all ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Chat wall, let me hear you. Are you guys ready? Let's see now. Are we all ready? Yep, some people are prepared. All right, people are set, people are ready. And now, I think it is time that we shall begin. And for our first story, however, I would just like to begin by pointing out something that could be a little bit serious. Because, I don't know if I fully discuss this type of subject matter onto here, but what I will be talking about will actually be related to YouTube. Now, chances are you might have heard about something like this happening right now, but I think this is honestly something that I want to address here, especially if this is something that could also affect me, and it could also affect many of your favorite channels. So I think this is honestly something that we do have to speak about, and something that I really want to go and clear my mind. And I'm talking about the elements that are going to change regarding YouTube Kids. Now, what actually happened was that this week, Google and YouTube actually got into a little bit of legal troubles, where they were caught by the Federal Trade Commission and the New York Attorney General, where now they have to pay a fine of $170 million. So what is it specifically that they have done wrong? Well, apparently, they failed to follow the orders of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, where they have broken some rules in those laws where they were secretly collecting private information on accounts made by children so that they could go and use it and give that information to companies so that they can go and give them targeted advertisings that would be made specifically for them. Like, for example, imagine there's an account where a kid would like to watch some Disney videos. So they would watch videos about some of the Disney cartoons, like the Mickey Mouse shorts, or maybe some stuff for Frozen 2, or maybe even like some Disney park videos. So what happens then is that YouTube will take that information, give it to the companies, and then the kid will receive more ads related to Disney. And that is actually something that is a massive no-no. And apparently, the Federal Trade Commission chairman, Joe Simmons, even commented that YouTube touted its popularity with children to prospective corporate clients. Yet when it came to complying with COPPA, the company refused to acknowledge that portions of its platform were clearly directed to kids. There is no excuse for YouTube's violation on the law. And may I just say, as a YouTuber myself, I need to ask, why am I not surprised that not only is YouTube, not only does YouTube have a lack of transparency with their creators, but also YouTube has a lack of transparency with the law as well. Not surprising at all. wow, YouTube has a lot of secrets that they're keeping in themselves. I got a feeling that if they were being transparent, then we would discover that they would be breaking a lot of rules and a lot of federal law that the Department of Justice would be very interested to know about. So, as a response to this, as a response that Google and YouTube had been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, they are going to be making some changes in order to make the platform a lot more kid-friendly, especially regarding targeted ads, which they will be removing those. In fact, if I can go onto YouTube Help regarding those changes, they have stated one of the big things they are going to do to change that is that we will, which by the way, I'm reading from my source here at Google Support or YouTube Help. We will stop serving personalized ads on content that is made for kids, whether designated by you or by our classifier. In accordance with COPPA, serving personalized ads that are targeted to users based on their past usage of Google products and services, to child audiences is not permissible. If applicable, this may result in a decrease in revenue for some creators. Note that we will continue to serve non-personalized ads that are shown based on context rather than our user data, on content that is made for kids. So in a way, this is actually going to hit creators where they will lose money if they are, if their videos are actually labeled as kids content. But for many of you, you might not necessarily be a YouTuber. You're probably just a viewer. And you're probably curious regarding how will this affect you? Like, if the video itself is considered kids content, then how would this affect you as the viewer? Well, let me just say goodbye to many of your interactions. If you want to go and interact with the video, well, you cannot do that anymore, as it states that some features will no longer be available on this type of content, like comments. The ability to comment will no longer be available on the watch page. Likes and dislikes and subscriptions on the content will not show up on the public lists. Overall, viewers will have minimum engagement options with made-for-kids content on YouTube.com. So that does leave the question, how would YouTube know that the content that the person is making is like for kids? Like, how would they know that this is a content that is geared for kids instead of just your regular YouTube video? Well, it actually states, like, before all the stuff that I have read, it's actually in one of the first paragraphs saying that you will be required to tell us if your content is made for kids. So basically, YouTube is giving the option of creators to say if their content is actually made for kids or not. But then, in addition, we will use machine learning to help us identify videos that clearly target young audiences. At a high level, content that is made for kids has an emphasis on children or children's characters, popular children's programming or animated characters, play acting or stories using children's toys, child protagonists engaging in common natural play patterns such as play acting or imaginative play, and popular children's songs, stories, or poems. So if your video would categorize in that, or if your channel specifically specializes in any of that, then it's automatically deemed a kids channel, and you're pretty much gonna get hit. You're gonna lose a lot of revenue, and also you will lose comments, you will lose likes and dislikes, and that's it. Like, you'll no longer have any features. So in a way, Google is pretty much punishing you for making kids content. Now, that does seem messed up, though. Is there anything that YouTube can do in order to recompensate this? Well, there is something technically. There might be something that they could do to help out the channels that are specifically geared towards kids. On YouTube's official blog, there was one paragraph here that it states that we know these changes will have significant business impact on family and kids creators who have been building both wonderful content and thriving businesses. So we've worked to give impacted creators 4 months to adjust before changes take effect on YouTube. We recognize this won't be easy for some creators and are committed to work with them through this transition and providing resources to help them better understand these changes. We are also going to continue investing in the future of quality kids, family, and educational content. We are establishing a $100 million fund distributed over 3 years dedicated to the creation of thoughtful, original children's content on YouTube and YouTube Kids globally. So apparently they have $100 million on the side in order to dedicate to create programming for kids on YouTube and also YouTube Kids. So that's pretty much the main thing that is going on, that apparently in 4 months, at the start of 2020, they will be applying these changes where it will have significant impact on channels that are more geared towards kids. And I'm not gonna lie, as a YouTuber myself, I feel like this is just massively concerning. Because the thing is, even though they have given us a bit more information on stuff like this, they are still being vague. Because the big question that a lot of YouTubers like me are pretty much asking, what is it that can really categorize as a kids content? Because even with the little list that they have, it is still massively vague, and it is something that is still massively concerning, because this does sound like a massive punishment just because you want to go and create content for kids. Like, apparently, like, now if you're labeled as a kids content, you end up losing revenue. And not only that, you're going to lose any form of interaction that you can have with your audience. And I don't know about you, but I feel like that is just messed up. And what's even worse is that when these changes will be applicable, then that's actually going to be something that most of the blame will be on the creators themselves, because many of the viewers might not know that these changes will happen, and then suddenly they'll see that suddenly the likes and dislikes are gone and the comments are going to be gone, and then they'll say, oh man, this YouTuber is weak, man. This guy can't even handle criticism. He closed off all his comments and closed off all the likes and dislikes, and I mean, like, it's not necessarily the YouTuber's fault, because they will say, like, listen, it's not me, it's actually YouTube. They think I'm making content for kids. It's honestly ridiculous and massively concerning, because here's the thing. There are ways that you can actually talk about these kids programs, that you could talk about, like, many of these things that are for kids per se, in a very adult way. There are ways that you can actually go and do that, and sometimes you can have a bit of an adult approach. That is something that me and many animation reviewers would do, that we would look at it in a way that is more analytical and that is a lot more adult. That our content, while we do talk a lot about programs and movies and a lot of different projects that are geared towards kids, we approach this in a more adult manner. So of course, like, kids can watch our content, but also adults can watch it as well and have an appreciation, and adults can be our target audience as well. Now, some people might think that, okay, well, if you want to go and avoid that, then why not go and make your channel a bit more adult? You know, add some swearing, or try to be a little bit more serious, or try to make things a bit more adult, or talk about some adult content. Well, that's the thing, though. You can't really, because YouTube also punishes content that they would consider a little bit too adult. You might have heard this pass around, but the reason why you probably have noticed that a lot of videos nowadays don't involve as much swearing as they used to is mainly because there have been statistics that have shown that when it comes to YouTube content that swears compared to YouTube content where they would have a clean vocabulary, the ones that would have clean vocabulary actually make more money than the ones that they would actually swear. And that's a bit on purpose so that the advertisers can lean more towards family-friendly content where they would play it a lot more safe. And you can't really do that with more adult-oriented content like swearing and stuff like that. So that's why you see nowadays YouTubers have been very discouraged from doing anything like swearing and stuff like that. It's not stopping them, but it's making them less money than if they were not swearing. And on top of that, if that is not enough, there are ways where they can hit you that's even worse if you do make content that is considered too adult, and you would actually get age restricted. And I have actually been age restricted once for one of my videos, and let me tell you, it sucks. Because what happens when your video gets age restricted, not only do you get a lot less revenue on it, but on top of that, viewers cannot watch the video unless they register on YouTube and say that they are over 18. And let me tell you, it just sucks, especially with the one video that actually did get hit. And if you want to know which video did get hit with an age restriction of mine, it's actually the first part of Animation Look Back Ralph Bakshi. And the reason why I hate it and why it totally sucks for me is that it got hit when the video itself was getting massively viral. It was getting a lot of attention from people. They were really enjoying it, and then suddenly it just got hit. And I tried appealing it. I tried to say that this was wrong, and I tried to say that this was done for educational purposes, and it shouldn't have that, it shouldn't have that age restriction. And YouTube, they revised it, and they told me, okay, you were following all the guidelines, you're all good on it, but we're still gonna keep the age restriction anyways. Freaking thanks, YouTube, you bunch of freaking dicks. So now, with this, I feel like now us YouTubers are pretty much stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because either way, we would get screwed over. If we make our content too adult, then we would get age restricted. And now it seems like we're gonna get a kid version of getting age restricted, where if we make our content too kid-friendly, then it's going to get kid-restricted, where now we're going to make less revenue, and we're going to end up getting removed our comments and also our likes and dislikes, which in a way, it's kind of weird that making content for kids is now a more punishable crime on YouTube than actually making content for adults. What kind of logic is that? And honestly, in this scenario, it's especially the fact that they stated that one of the categories that they specified that it is kids content is YouTube channels that specializes on stuff like popular children's programming or animated characters. This is something that I feel like for every YouTube channel, for my fellow animation reviewers, this is something that we should be aware of and something that really does concern us. This could be something that could really affect us in terms of our business and in terms of our livelihood on YouTube. I know that there are times when people would go and take a little bit of my podcast and they would share it around social media, like on Twitter and stuff like that. But if there's one thing that, if there is a time for them to do so, it's definitely right now, because this is something that every animation reviewer right now should pay attention to, and they should be aware of and should actually be concerned about this. Because while it is true that there are times when we would talk about more adult-oriented content, usually the stuff we talk about is geared towards kids. We would usually talk about animated content like new shows on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, or new movies that are made by Disney, DreamWorks, or Illumination, or whatever, where their content is animated programmings that are geared mainly towards kids. So that is something that should be concerning us, because if YouTube finds out that, oh, well, you talk about animated content, you talk about cartoons, then you must be geared towards kids. So we're pretty much going to get rid of most of your revenue. We're going to get rid of your comments. We're going to get rid of your likes. We're getting rid of a lot of stuff so we can pretty much neuter your freaking content. So honestly, this is something that we should be concerned and we should be speaking out about. And animation reviewers should not only be concerned. I've seen also plenty of other groups as well that are honestly worried about this. One of which also includes the anime community. Anime YouTubers are really concerned about this, especially with the fact that the machine, it's pretty much the machine learning that will also help out on trying to find these channels. And they're worried if YouTube might mistake the anime content that they discuss about as animated characters or popular children's programming, that they'll take that as like just cartoons, and then their channels will be kiddified, and they'll have a lot of their features and revenue taken away from them. And this also goes to plenty of other channels as well, like toy channels, channels that, no, what else? Toy channels, anime channels, and plenty more. Like all these different, oh yeah, and also like some video game channels, like channels that are geared towards more family-friendly gaming content, like Minecraft channels, Nintendo channels, and all that kind of gaming channels. A lot of people are seriously worried and concerned about this, about what categorizes as a YouTube, what categorizes as kids content on YouTube. It really is concerning. It's just really troublesome, and it makes me worried as well that 2020 is going to be a dark year for many of us, and we might lose a lot of these features just because of YouTube's own little troubles that they have to make these kinds of changes. It's just concerning. I remember that I also talked to a friend of mine about this, and he said it best that YouTube is pretty much turning into sanitized television, that YouTube is pretty much becoming television where they are running the rules of TV. So what can we YouTubers do at this point? We feel like we're stuck and we don't know what's pretty much going on. And the most messed up thing, I gotta say this right now, that this is honestly YouTube at its most morally corrupt, because when you think about this, it really is seriously messed up. It really is troubling that they are even doing so in the first place, because this is not just the fact that YouTube is punishing YouTube channels for the fact that they are making content for children. Like, imagine a YouTuber wants to do something for the kids, so he makes videos for kids, and YouTube is now punishing them for doing so. But also, what's even more messed up is the fact that YouTube is punishing creators for making content for kids because YouTube is the one that was caught in trouble. Because YouTube was caught breaking the law, now it's the creators that have to be punished for this. And it really goes to show how YouTube just never values their creators. Ever. They have never been a top priority for them. It's always the advertisers, it's always the content, it's always the viewer, it's always the, as I was saying, sorry that I'm tumbling on my words here, but it's always the advertisers, it's always the viewers, and most certainly it's always the money. Like, this is definitely a company that they've really showed right now, especially with this, that they value money more so than the law itself. They value all that much more than the creators. We rarely get any opportunities that YouTube would do something that could be a bit beneficial for us. And even if they do so, then it's just one step in the right direction in a massively long road. That's the big problem with all this. So honestly, this is something that YouTube really does need to go and clarify. And if honestly there is one thing that I do have to say, that if they can do something to really go and fix that up, it's honestly, they have to get rid of the machines, because they have said that they're going to use machines to go and detect which channels are going to be for, which channels are kids content and which ones are not. I think it is safe to say right now that no YouTuber trusts YouTube with machines, because they are infamously broken, and they have been causing more trouble, and they have been ruining a lot of careers of YouTubers, especially when it comes to the copyright ID system, especially when it comes to things like the age restriction. A lot of these content is pretty much destroyed, and a lot of livelihoods have been ruined because of the incompetency of these machines and the incompetence of YouTube themselves just for letting these machines do the job for them. YouTube needs to trust their creators and their creators alone to determine if their content is aimed specifically towards kids or if it's also specifically towards adults or if it's for everyone. They need to trust them to make that decision. And if they need an outside source other than creators to do so, then they need to go and hire actual people to do the job for them. Yes, it could be something that could take them decades in order to do so. YouTube could probably shut down before that can ever happen, that they would complete their mission in checking out every single channel if they're considered kid-friendly or not. But it is definitely more trustworthy of them to do so than to let their machines to do the job for them. And I know that maybe it could be just me. I could say that right now. Maybe this whole situation, maybe it's just me in all this. And I'm just acting like a complete alarmist in this situation. And maybe in the future, we'll see that this is not going to be affecting us as badly as we thought it would be, and that our channels are pretty much safe. That could happen as well. But sadly, this is actually something that many YouTubers don't tell you about. This alarmist nature, it's very common. That's part of the job, sadly. The thing is, you always have to act like maybe one day, like you gotta go and always create your videos as if it's your last, because with how YouTube is making these changes and with how YouTube is pretty much doing things without knowing us, without even telling us what's happening, and with the unpredictable, with all these unpredictable machines, like doing all these crazy things that are obviously broken, then it could be your last. It could be the last video you would ever do on the platform before you just magically get banned for no reason. And that's the biggest problem here. That's why many people nowadays don't trust YouTube. And especially with this, I just feel like this is massively concerning. I think YouTube really needs to go and explain themselves regarding what can be considered kids content. Because I'm going to say right now, my content is not specifically just for kids. Like, this is for people of all ages. Like, kids can watch it, and also adults can also appreciate it as well. And I'm not gonna let something like this go and ruin my freaking business. So that's all I have to say. And honestly, this is something that you guys gotta go and spread the word regarding the fact that this is a major problem that we need. And we also gotta go and warn our fellow animation reviewers that this could be something that could affect us, that this could affect our livelihood. So I just want to put out a warning about this. So now with that said and done, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to know what you guys think about the entire situation. As maybe you guys are YouTubers, maybe you guys are just viewers, but I want to know a bit of your perspective about what is going on and what YouTube is trying to do with how do you feel about these changes? Do you think, you think these changes are good? Do you think these changes are bad? Let me know what you think. Let's see now. Let's see. Take it from someone who actually made a ton of videos rewriting a kid's show. The changes here are absolutely nauseating. The fact that nobody can give feedback to what they enjoy is pretty much the bottom of the barrel for YouTube. And with there being little to no middle ground with adult content, there's no winner in this scenario. This is not just your average bruh moment. This is a flat out taking away our rights to freedom of speech. And, you know, I just gotta say, there's a part of me that's not necessarily surprised that they would go and do so. Like, I'll go and clarify. I do understand why YouTube has to do this. They have to go and follow the law, and they should in order to go and, you know, like, make sure that they obey the rules of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And we got to make sure to protect our kids and not manipulate them with advertisings and stuff like that. We shouldn't do that. Of course, I do get what they're doing, but this is really something that like I said before, it's messed up in the way that we are the ones that are being punished for the crimes that YouTube and Google have committed. And yeah, you could say that, well, they did pay $170 million. That's chump change to them. Like, Google is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They can hand out $170 million like it's a freaking quarter or something. It doesn't matter to them. This is with this is more something that will hurt us more so than it would ever hurt YouTube and Google. And may I say right now, the fact that they are and honestly, the fact that they would experiment getting rid of stuff like likes and dislikes and comments, that is no surprise for me whatsoever. And I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the future, YouTube would just do that in general. That they would just get rid of comments. That they would just get rid of likes and dislikes. Like, I'm sure that one day, this is going to be something that YouTube will immediately do because they want to obey what the corporations want to do. Like, one company is going to get massively upset that one of their videos is getting so much hate comments and massive dislikes to the point that YouTube was just going to decide, okay, let's just get rid of them in general. So honestly, I feel like this could be a bit of a gateway for that. This could be the first experimentation to see how YouTube is going to be without comments and without likes and dislikes. And it doesn't seem like a great it's not a great future for us. Let's see now. This is the lowest that YouTube has gone. Unfortunately, I enjoy a lot of animation reviewers like you, Sabersparks, Cosmodor, and Mr. Enter. How will YouTube handle cartoon reviewers like Mr. Enter and Phantom Strider since they talk about kids and adult cartoons? This is reminding me of how YouTube is treating their history channels like Alternative History Hubs and Overly Sarcastic Productions, where they would constantly demonetize and age restrict their videos where they have to form a website. And yeah, that's kind of the big thing. It's just, I feel like in this situation, they really need to clarify what classifies as a children's content. And if they don't trust us to do the job, then what's the point of even giving out that option? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And yes, this is absolutely concerning to many YouTube reviewers. I know that there are plenty, like Sabersparks, for example, like he would have a lot more of an adult nature, and sometimes he would talk about content that is more adult oriented. You know, he would talk about adult oriented cartoons. That does happen. But considering plenty of his other videos, they would be animated content that would be geared towards kids. This could also be something that could hit him as well. And plenty of other YouTubers, the same goes with plenty of other animation content or animation reviewers. It's just, this is something that we should pay attention to, and this is something that should concern us all. Let's see. Oh great, as if Article 13 from the EU copyright law wasn't bad enough, YouTube wants to appeal to the lowest common denominator by making everything to be squeaky clean. Everything to clips of innuendos, like the way Arnold's grandpa's head is designed from Hey Arnold. Before this, I was flagged for making a video that has burps, and apparently YouTube thought it was a fetish video. It wasn't. It was just clips of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic with burp sound effects from Crash Tag Team Racing. This was it. Nothing more. You never know with how YouTube is going to approach things. And sometimes you could make a completely innocent video, but YouTube can interpret it in a completely different way. Like, it's the same case with the first part of the Ralph Bakshi video, which, on a side note, by the way, none of the other parts got age restricted, and I'm sure they've shown a lot more nastier things than what we saw in the first part alone. But still, it's like, why that one in particular? And I've been doing it for educational purposes. It's not for like any sexual things. It's not for anything too adult oriented. It's just for, it's just to educate people on the life of Ralph Bakshi and some of his works like Heavy Traffic and Frisk the Cat. But no, I gotta get freaking hit, and there's nothing that I can do about it. And it just massively sucks. Trust me, dealing with YouTube is not fun. I mean, the only positive that I could see coming out of this situation is how ElsaGate and other YouTube kids content might finally die off from there without any easy source of ad revenue. Everything else definitely sounds questionable and potentially not thoroughly thought out on YouTube's thought. Yeah, YouTube never really thinks it through. That's why that's why when there's YouTube drama, especially coming from the YouTubers who have like tens of millions of subscribers, whenever they would mess up, then we would be the ones that would get completely punished. Like a great example, like the whole Logan Paul controversy, when he was making jokes about a dead body when he was in that Japanese forest. Like that was something that we ended up getting punished, and Logan Paul was just walking away just fine. Like, he didn't really get much punishments for it, and he's still acting like an idiot. He's still, like, being a disgrace of YouTube. He's still acting like a mentally ill psychopath. He's still doing all his usual crap like nothing happened. So from there, we're the ones that always get punished. For some reason, whenever something happens on YouTube, the real people who get punished is just us and not the actual people who committed the crime, especially when it's YouTube themselves who actually did it. Let's see now. This is the term basically saying, think of the children. We shouldn't appeal to everyone because when we do appeal to everyone, then we appeal to no one. Yeah, that's kind of the irony of this. Like, you'd think this is a thing about think of the children, but this honestly feels more like screw the children. Like, YouTube is punishing the children because they could, they're no longer able to manipulate the children. They can no longer capitalize on the children, so now they gotta punish the children. It just really sucks. Okay, I'm gonna read one more comment before we go and jump onto our next story because, yeah, they're definitely, like, we've definitely went into a lot of this. I really hope you and everyone else that dedicates to animation will be okay when I heard this story. YouTube is pretty much messed up since they are now censoring things that aren't appropriate, especially punishing people that are geared towards kids. I don't know if many YouTubers I know like you will survive from the effect, but I hope all the people on YouTube I know will and be gone and ruined because of this train wreck. Yeah, nah, I definitely get what you mean. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, so with that said and done, I think we're pretty much all good with this whole YouTube thing. So I said my piece about it, so hopefully we will go and spread the message, and if there's enough backlash, then maybe YouTube will do something about it to make it easier for content that could possibly be geared towards kids by their standard. But now let us go and move on to our next story, in which we have a little bit of a trailer. And speaking of adult-oriented content, this is definitely something that is not for kids. If you want an example of an animated thing that is not going to be for kids, that's a lot more for adults, then boy, do I have something for you. Please let's go ahead and welcome to the animation realm, Uzumaki! Yes, this was something that was announced last week, but I think it definitely is worth talking about right over here. So yes, Adult Swim has revealed that they are going to be bringing out a mini-series called Uzumaki, which of course is based on the acclaimed horror manga by Junji Ito. And if for those of you who are not necessarily familiar with it, it is stated here, reading from my source in Animation Magazine, Uzumaki is a 4-episode miniseries based on Ito's Shokakukan manga. The story follows a high school teenager, Kiri Goshima, her boyfriend, Shuichi Saito, and the citizens of the small fictional Japanese town of Kurouzu-cho, which is cursed by supernatural events involving spirals. For the people that will be involved with this series, it is stated that the series will be produced at music and animation creative collective Drive Inc. in Tokyo and directed by Hiroshi Nagahama of Mushishi and Flowers of Evil. The score will be created by Colin Stetson of Hereditary and Red Dead Redemption 2. And on top of that, we also got a teaser trailer release. So let's go ahead and start things off by checking out this teaser of Uzumaki. Let me just put this back here. Yes, that is the teaser trailer for Uzumaki, and I do send out my sincerest apologies for those who are only listening to this, because I know it just sounds absolutely weird with that soundtrack. I mean, like, this is not a knock on the composer, of course, but of course, like, this is something that's a lot more visual oriented than something to go and listen to, because I know a lot more people that are just like listening to this like just on audio, like for the podcast, and they're just hearing this going, it's like, what the fridge is this? Is my headphones broken? Like, do I need to buy a new one? But yes, that's pretty much Uzumaki, and I think you guys now have a little bit of an idea of what it's about. And I know that at first, it may seem like a little bit of a strange concept. How the fridge can you make spirals scary? Because that's pretty much the theme of Uzumaki, that you take something as simple as a spiral and you find all these different ideas to make something a little bit creepy and a little bit scary with it. And I will say right now, even though I have never really read any of the mangas of Uzumaki, I am a bit familiar with it. I remember when I used to watch a lot of Linkara's programs, especially with Long Box of the Damned. He would often go and discuss a bit about Uzumaki and some of the stories that would go in it. And I could tell you, Uzumaki, oh my god, they know how to make spirals scary, and holy crap, it can get terrifying. I can pretty much say this right now. So when I have heard that they are going to legitimately make a full-on Uzumaki series, the only thing in my mind is just, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And keep in mind, I'm not saying oh no as if this thing is going to be terrible, because I'm going to be very honest, I do have a lot of trust in the company that they can make something amazing out of it. So far with the teaser trailer that they got, it stays very true to the manga, to the point that everything is full on black and white. And also, this is from Production IG, which is the acclaimed Japanese animation studio that did stuff like Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, Attack on Titan, and Fully Coolly Progressive and Fully Coolly Alternative, which that's how you say it, right? FLCL, it's a Fully Coolly. That's what I've heard. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, I can trust that Production IG can actually make something amazing with this series. But for me, I'm just going to say this right now. For some things, I am an absolute freaking chicken. I am not a fan of getting scared. I'm pretty much the kind of guy that if you ask me, come on, man, let's go check into this haunted house. Let's go see some ghosts. I am going there like, no. Like, I am not, trust me, I am not a fan of getting scared, of getting creeped out, or anything like that. Yeah, and even some people are already pointing out Haunted Mansion. Yes, that also includes that. It's like, come on, man, let's go to the Haunted Mansion. What are you, chicken? So, pretty much, in other words, yes. And this thing, and trust me, this really is a manga that really can get creepy. In fact, the cover on Animation Magazine about this story piece right over here, it's pretty much, you see a picture of a girl, and her head is pretty much being consumed by an entire spiral. Like, you see her weird, freaky smile, and like, she no longer has eyes, she no longer has a nose. It's all consumed by this spiral that's getting massively large on her head. It really is messed up. And even like on the teaser trailer, you actually do see a little bit of some of the messed up things that do happen in the manga. Like, they do show little clips. Like here, yeah, like here's a little piece, like a guy that's literally stuck between a car and the wheel. Like, you see that little thing. That's lovely. Like, you see a guy who's, like, completely twisted. Like, trust me, if you, in a way, like, you could say that with this, you could pretty much turn rubber hose animation into something that is absolutely horrifying. Like, you think rubber hose animation is cute when you use it on, like, classic cartoons and on Sony animation films? Well, you'd pretty much be wrong there, because yeah, it can pretty much be disturbing. It can pretty much be horrifying, and it can pretty much be absolutely messed up. And just looking at a lot of this, and yeah, and like, you do see on one of the sides that there is a part where a girl, like, it's the same girl where she has the spiral that's on her head, but now, like, soon it's gonna be consuming that eyeball, and then, like, you see like this girl that's twisting this guy in a spiral fashion. And like, are there any other examples that we see? Yeah, like you even see a little bit in the teaser trailer itself on how things get messed up. And if you don't believe me, you could just Google Uzumaki and you can see many of the horrors that they can do with spirals. So honestly, looking at all this, I do have confidence that this is going to be great, but I am scared of it because I know that this could be something that is great. Now, it's not necessarily that long, as it states, it's just going to be a 4-part miniseries, but still, the stuff that they are showing, it's, like, I know it's going to be absolutely disturbing. It's going to be something where, like, you think it's going to be simple enough. Oh, it's just a spiral. But no, suddenly they go in directions. They're like, oh, God, what the fridge is happening? Oh, God, help me. Oh, it's just, yeah. If you are a horror fan, if you like getting scared, if you like getting creeped out, I think this is definitely going to be something that is for you, especially if you are a fan of Uzumaki. So far, the teaser trailer looks highly impressive, and the fact that it is from Production IG really does signify that it will be visually stunning. This will be something that they will craft to make sure that this will be an unforgettable experience. But for me, I don't know if I really want to go and check it out, because this thing is going to be creepy, it's going to be scary, and from there, I'll say that it's going to be very good, but no, I don't like it. For me, it's just like, I look at this, oh, spirals. Nope. That's the thing. It's just, it'll be good, but still, nope. No, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so with that said and done, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to know what you guys think about Uzumaki and the Uzumaki series that is going to be coming on Adult Swim. Are you guys going to be anticipating yourself to check that out? Is this something that you want to see? Are you a little too creeped out with what they're showing? Let me know what you all think. Let's see. I've never read the manga or any manga, and I don't watch anime shows, but the designs and visuals look both creepy and entrancing. I love horror, and this is the kind of weird Gaspar Noé mixed with David Cronenberg mixed with Lovecraft stuff that I can dig. I'm looking forward to it, and I know nothing about it. Oh man, dude, let me tell you, I think this is going to be one of those cases that the less you know, the more you're going to be surprised. Like, this is going to be something that, oh, you know nothing about Uzumaki? Well, sit tight, boy, because you're in for quite a ride on this one. Whoo, boy. Like, if you want to keep your anticipation for 2020 when this comes out, then, like, just keep it that way. Like, make sure you keep all the surprises for when Uzumaki comes. For when that moment happens, with all the context that they have in the manga, it's gonna get weird, and it's gonna get scary. I'm just saying. Let's see now, what else do we have? Well, I gotta say, this is pretty fascinating. I don't have much to say, but not only does the art style look fantastic, but this teaser also gives me the chills. However, it's funny how this is the scariest thing to come out this week compared to Nomeo fighting a clown. I'm sorry, what? Nomeo fighting a clown? You mean Nomeo fighting a clown? Like Nomeo and Julie? What? Can you please clarify that? Nomeo fighting a clown. What are you talking about? Like, is it literally Nomeo from Nomeo and Juliet fighting off a clown? Like, what is this? Or wait. Oh, no, wait a second. Oh, I just realized. Duh. It Chapter 2, of course. I almost forgot about, oh my god, I almost forgot that that movie was actually released, of course. Oh my god, yeah, if you think freaking Pennywise is scary, wait till you see, like, freaking Spirals, man. Well, sorry about that little confusion, dude. Yeah, It Chapter 2, it's got James McAvoy, of course, okay. Sorry about that, folks, okay. Let's see. This is making me sleepy and looks weird. I'm not surprised that Adult Swim has produced a lot of weird and horrifying shows like The Shivering Truth. This miniseries is giving me a vibe of that show. Also, I would rather have a weird and creepy show like this than the bland and unfunny show like 12 Ounce Mouse. I don't know if I really heard about 12 Ounce Mouse, but hey, you know, at least Uzumaki will be something. Let's see. I'm both really excited and nervous about Uzumaki. After the crap fest that was the Junji Ito collection, I don't want my heart broken again. Oh boy, did I don't think I have heard about the Junji Ito collection. Like, what was it, something that was disappointing, or was it something that Junji Ito just went too far? I don't know. Well, I know this is a Junji Ito classic, so like, I'm sure Production IG is just gonna stay true to the manga, and I mean, really, we can trust Production IG with making manga adaptations, so really, what can you go wrong with that? Let's see, I'll go and read one more comment that we have here. Let's see. The music was incredibly annoying, but the series could be a unique experience. I have been scared of sillier things than Spirals. Jordan Peele's Us makes me freaked out by a pair of scissors. Also, creepy rubber hose animation does exist. It's called Bendy and the Ink Machine. Yeah, there is that. Okay, yeah, there is. Yeah, that is true. There is Bendy and the Ink Machine that does purposely make you do that. Like, it tries to make classic cartoon characters scary. So, you do have a good point on that. Okay, so with that done, let's get off of Uzumaki, and now we're gonna go and jump onto probably something that is more pleasant to go and sit through. Something that will be a lot more fun, and something that will most likely not get us scared and make us feel uncomfortable about Spirals. So let's go and leave the Spirals and go into the world of centaurs. Centaurworld, to be precise. Yes, Netflix has revealed that they have ordered 20 episodes of a new animated series called Centaurworld, which is brought to us by Megan Nicole Dong, who was a DreamWorks animation veteran who has worked on movies such as How to Train Your Dragon 2 and Captain Underpants. Reading from my source here, Animation Scoop, it has stated that Centaurworld follows a warhorse who is transported from her embattled world to a strange land inhabited by silly singing centaurs of all species, shapes, and sizes. Desperate to return home, she befriends a group of these magical creatures and embarks on a journey that will test her more than any battle she's ever faced before. It has also promised that the series will feature a mix of animation styles, and each episode will include original songs in a variety of genres. And hold on a sec. I think I might... Am I gonna sneeze? No, okay, no. Never mind. Okay. False alarm. Now, yeah, that's pretty much the new series that we got here, Centaurworld. There is no release date. We didn't really get a whole lot of information about it. All we have so far is just this little promotional image of Centaurworld, where in the middle, we got this gray horse that's pretty much monochrome, and it's mostly black and white, that's riding on this rainbow, where this warhorse, she is accompanied by what seems to be her friends of the Centaurworld, where, like, they have this, like, really cutesy design, and, you know, they're literally about sparkles and rainbows and just want to have fun, and they have an art style that's really reminiscent to something out of Adventure Time. Like, you got this tall giraffe guy with a buffed up body and a really long neck that's making a rainbow, and then, like, you also got this pink alpaca or llama character that's, like, shooting little fireworks out of her hands. And then, like, we also got on the side, we got this zebra character Like, it's also a buffed up dude, and he has this grumpy expression look, but he's pretty much grumpy. Like, the zebra guy is basically, he's grumpy in the same way that Grumpy is in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's like, yeah, he's angry, but he's not going to be a guy that you could take seriously. And then, like, you got this gazelle girl who has a long neck, and she's just prancing around like she's just standing there like, yeah, I'm here too. Hello. And then, like, all the other characters, but then, like, you got the other characters, like the llama character and the giraffe guy, you know, like, they're just having a blast. Like, you just see them going, yay! You know, they're just having fun. And I just gotta say right now, even though we don't have a lot of information about this, I feel like this just looks absolutely adorable, and I feel like there could be a lot of potential with what they can do, especially with the promise of mixing animation styles. What I can imagine is that this could possibly be like something like Adventure Time, but with the art style of something like The Amazing World of Gumball, where we're gonna see different styles colliding with each other. But then you got the tone that can be absolutely unpredictable and can go all over the place, where it could be absolutely stupid and not shy away from going absolutely silly and just having a lot of fun. And then maybe there are times when it can go into some very heavy and serious subject matter, and then things can get absolutely serious where it would just become a full-on life or death scenario. And you could get that happening, especially with the war horse that is a bit of the contrast of the entire centaur world. So I could definitely see the potential that there is in this series. And, you know, and I just gotta say right now, just a major congrats to Megan Nicole Dong for, this is her first time running her own series and breaking out of DreamWorks Animation, where, like, from there, she also did some other stuff as well. It even states that she even became a supervising director for something on Netflix called Pinky Malinky. So she definitely is climbing up the ranks in the animation world, and hopefully with something like Centaurworld, it could give her that potential. But so far, there isn't really a lot that I could say about this, but oh, excuse me, but what I can say about this is that with the image that we're seeing, this does look like an absolutely adorable series. I am intrigued to see if there would be a trailer that could come out soon to show us what Centaurworld can be, but I don't know. I could definitely see the potential with what they can have with this series, and who knows, maybe this could be a lot of fun as well. So again, there's not a lot to say about it because there's not really much that they're offering with this, other than the fact that I could also read the list of other people that are involved with this series. Not only is Megan going to be a showrunner, she's also going to be an executive producer alongside with Dominic Bisignano. I think I butchered his name. With Dominic from Star vs. the Forces of Evil, who will serve as a co-executive producer. Megan McCarthy of My Little Pony franchise fame will serve as a story editor, and Toby Chu of Bao will be the series composer. So that's pretty much the list of the people that will also be involved with Centaurworld. We don't have an official release date of when this is going to be coming out, but this does have the potential to be a lot of fun, really cute, and maybe really dark and serious as well. Who knows? But with that said, let's go into the chat wall, and I want to know what you guys think about Centaurworld. Do you think this is a series that you guys would like to check out? What is it that you would like to see from Centaurworld? And do you think this would have potential on Netflix or not? Let me know what you guys think. Let's see, this show does look adorable, and it could be a fun show. It reminds me of the animation style of Adventure Time, and it seems like the Netflix version of My Little Pony. Oh, absolutely. Especially if they're going to go into marketing or especially merchandising. Like, I can imagine how this can be like a massive collect them all toy franchise, especially to get all the different characters like in the, like in the war in the different world, and then suddenly in the Centaur world where you can collect like the giraffe guy and the little llama guy and the zebra guy and the gazelle girl. And I can imagine that they can go into many different directions, and like you can even see like in the little bottom left corner where there are plenty of other little centaur characters that they're just teasing like who else is going to be in there. And then like also on the on the top left corner there's also like this really big Ursula like centaur that I don't know, maybe she's supposed to be, well, this is not meant to be an insult, but maybe like literally part hippo centaur. Like maybe they could go and do that. I mean, like with all the different animals that we're seeing, like a gazelle, a llama, a giraffe, and a zebra, that could be possible. They could go into the hippo route, like a hippo centaur. Like we got that. It's like holding a thing and it's like, I have the power. So we do have that. So it definitely has a chance to be pretty cute. Let's see. To be honest, this actually looks really interesting. The fact, oddly enough, this looks like something that came more likely from the world of Star versus the Forces of Evil, since in that show kind of revolves around that kind of stuff like Warnicorns, Narwhals, Ludo's army, and more in a fantasy world set in medieval times. Well, there is that. You definitely have a point. Let's see. Now, I have to admit, this cartoon concept looks like something created during the session while extremely high on crack. Very wacky and out there of an idea. Well, I mean, let's be honest, dude. What show isn't like that, you know? What series is there that doesn't look like someone thought of this while they would be extremely high on some kind of drug? You know, that seems to be a bit of the norm in terms of television animation that you would find. Maybe except for maybe a bit of Disney Channel, but not as much, considering that Disney Channel is also really hitting hard on nostalgia and is actually working pretty well. Actually getting more of a positive reception than even the Disney live action remakes. But yeah, other than that, it really is kind of the norm that we are seeing here. Let's see, what else do we got? Do we have another interesting? This show looks fun. The show and the concept is proof where Netflix is the new Adult Swim, where they would greenlight the weirdest shows that would exist. I can see the potential that this show could offer. I will definitely see this show coming out soon. I hope the girl making the show doesn't get her show canceled by Netflix, like the last animated series made by a woman. Tuca and Birdie, I get what you mean. Considering how they seem to be an animated series about anything these days, I'm honestly surprised that there isn't a Four Horsemen. Well, I mean, like, we got four, like, technically, it is that, like, we got the four centaur people and a warhorse. Like, I guess it almost counts. Like, that would be amazing if the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse is just these characters. Like, the apocalypse is happening, and then suddenly we look at the sky. Yay! Like, there could be a possibility. You never know. God works in mysterious ways. Alright, I'll go and read one more comment before we hop on to the next one. Let's see now. It makes sense to have Megan McCarthy on the show since she has experimented with animated equines. At first glance, the show has potential for a lot of world building. This will be on my Netflix watch list next to season 2 of Russian Doll. Alright, sounds pretty good, dude. Alright, so now with that said, we're going to go and jump onto our next story, and we're going to be diving a little bit into controversy. Now, this is going to be the kind that, it's not necessarily animated. This is a bonus miscellaneous, by the way. But, in this regard, you have probably heard about this circulating around social media, and when I'm going to reveal it to you, I'm sure you guys are going to say, "Oh no, here we go again." And what I'm talking about is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Scarlett Johansson said a stupid thing. Yes, once again, she did a stupid. So, what is it that Scarlett Johansson do this time, though? What is it that she said that caused the internet to explode and get angry on her? Well, the thing is, this time, she decided to go and defend the controversial director, Woody Allen. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, which, by the way, I'm going to read from my source here on IndieWire, she talked a bit about her career and all that kind of stuff, and what could be in her future, and she also discussed a bit about her relationship with Woody Allen, where she states, I love Woody, I believe him, and I would work with him anytime. I see Woody whenever I can, and I've had a lot of conversations with him about it. I have been very direct with him, and he's very direct with me. He maintains his innocence, and I believe him. Now, to give you guys a little bit of context, the thing with Woody Allen is that he is a director that did get hit a bit with the hashtag #MeToo movement. Now, of course, he's not necessarily getting as punished as much as someone like Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby, or even right now with Vic Mignogna, considering that he did just lose his court case. Yay! But anyways, going back into this with Woody Allen, apparently he was actually accused by his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, where allegedly he sexually assaulted her when she was only 7 years old. And from there, there was a massive court case that occurred, and there are some people that do believe that he did do it, and others maybe not necessarily. But the point is that right now, Woody Allen is a massively controversial director. He is definitely an acclaimed director, but absolutely also a controversial director. And in this regard right over here, why am I not surprised that Scarlett Johansson would go and say something like that? It's kind of funny that she would go from the Hollywood actress that a lot of people would absolutely adore her, would be in love with her, and especially as a great action-packed hero as Black Widow in the Marvel movies. But I don't know what it is with Scarlett Johansson. It's like ever since the box office bomb of Ghost in the Shell, it's like there was something that hit, that something affected her mentally, where now it's almost like she has an addiction of being controversial, of just going around and saying stupid crap. Because not long ago, she was in another controversy where she literally states like, whatever, I can play whomever I want. I could be a black actress, I could be an Asian actress, I could even play a tree. I could be whomever I want. And from there, she also got a bit of backlash as well. And from there, I can definitely understand why she's also getting some massive backlash in this. And it's not necessarily the fact of what she said, of the fact that she was defending Woody Allen. It's the fact that she is pretty much saying stupid stuff once again. Because, like, you look at some of the tweets that's been said, like, there are some people that are saying, like, where is it? Like, yeah, like, no one, absolutely no one, not a soul in the world. Then Scarlett Johansson, Woody Allen did nothing wrong. And then there's also, there's another one that's like actually pretty funny. Yeah, there's also one that says, okay, at this point, I think ScarJo is playing problematic Hollywood positions bingo. And that's the thing. And even like another person is trying to say like, at this point, I think the only identity Scarlett Johansson hasn't tried to culturally appropriate is a person with integrity. Where it's almost like she has a bit of an addiction with bad press. That she's doing it because she loves the negative attention. She's almost, it's almost as if she's doing it on purpose. That maybe she doesn't necessarily believe that Woody Allen is innocent. She just wants to say it because she loves the attention. She loves the fact that people are talking about her, even if it is a negative way. Like, she could be a bit of a sociopath. That's why, honestly, in this case, she really needs to, she has to go and hire some kind of manager to go and tell her if something that she can say is okay or not. Like, she needs like some kind of publicist or a manager to really inspect the things that she would say before it would go out in the public. You know, like they need like some revisions to say, okay, let's see, what did she say right now? Nope, that's way too stupid. Please do not publish this. Please do not go and say that. You know, I think it's probably for the best for everyone. Just don't do it, please. Just don't do that. And then like they'll read, okay, let's see this interview. Okay, can you scratch off this thing? Because, I don't know, like, I don't even know what she's referring to here. Okay, let's see now. That's Scarlett Johansson. Let me tell you my opinion on politics. No, Scarjo, please, no, don't do this. Don't do it, Scarjo, no! You know, that's honestly the position that I feel like she has to do right now, because she is still a highly credible and influential A-list celebrity, so she cannot be going around and saying some insane crap like this. But, and this is a big but, while I do understand why there are plenty of people who are upset about Scarlett Johansson, I do understand a little bit about why she would actually go and say this. Because here's the thing. If it weren't for Woody Allen, then Scarlett Johansson would not be where she is today. It even states here in IndieWire that Scarlett Johansson is at the center of backlash once again for defending Woody Allen in a new interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Johansson was Allen's muse in the mid-2000s as the star of Matchpoint, Scoop, and Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Following Johansson's dramatic breakthrough in Lost in Translation, her work with Woody Allen helped solidify her as one of the most sought-after actresses in the world. Excuse me, oh boy. Johansson's Matchpoint performance earned her a Golden Globe nomination. So basically, Woody Allen made Scarlett Johansson a star. So it's not that surprising that someone like ScarJo would be eternally grateful for Woody Allen, that she will always see him as a friend because Woody Allen is the one that really made her a star, that really pushed her into the Hollywood scene and make the world notice her as a popular actress. So of course she would go and side with him. And if I can give you a little bit of an animation example, like imagine the scenario that if someone like Brad Bird or Pete Docter or Andrew Stanton, that they would go and speak out about John Lasseter, that nowadays they decided they're going to talk a little bit about John Lasseter, and they would say that they still consider John their friend, that even with the uncomfortable hugs and the way that he treated women, they would still consider John Lasseter as a friend, and they still keep in touch and all that kind of stuff. Now, of course, that would be a very controversial statement, they would say, that would upset a lot of people, but then again, it is understandable because they wouldn't be in the positions they are now if it weren't for John Lasseter. John Lasseter helped them become animation legends, helped them create an entire career in the field of animation and in Hollywood in general. So of course they would have a lot of gratitude for John even after all the controversies that he went through and what's been exposed about him. And the same case is with Scarlett Johansson, where, yeah, like, even though Woody Allen is a controversial figure, and you can have whatever opinion you would want for him, but with Scarlett Johansson, of course she's going to side with Woody Allen, because Woody Allen is the one that basically created Scarlett Johansson to become what she is today. So there are both sides that I really do understand in this situation. Now, with that said, should Scarlett Johansson really be punished in this situation? And for that, to be honest, I would say, not really. As I said before, I do understand the mentality of Scarlett Johansson in what she's trying to say with these comments. Like, I get what she's trying to say, but it doesn't change the fact that it is indeed stupid. Honestly, I feel like when it comes to the subject of the controversy of Woody Allen, I think it is best for her not to say anything. I think, honestly, it's just, don't ask Scarlett Johansson about this controversy regarding Woody Allen, because I think it's probably for the best, not just for her, but also for Woody Allen, that she doesn't speak out and say that she defends Woody Allen, because, like, it's even bad for Woody as well, because imagine, like, one of your most prolific allies is the one that would often go and say stupid crap. You know, like, would you really want Scarlett Johansson to really be by your side in terms of controversial topics? Maybe not. You know, it's just, it's probably for the best that you don't get Scarlett Johansson involved in discussing about controversial topics, especially when it's related to people that are actually close to her, like Woody Allen. So that is honestly my little piece in this situation. So yeah, like, this is just another case of Scarlett Johansson saying something stupid. Maybe not, like, honestly, maybe it's not necessarily the most stupid and the most controversial thing that she said, but it is another case that she's pulling a stupid again. So with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to know what you guys think about the comments of Scarlett Johansson and what she said about the Woody Allen controversy. Now, what is your take about the Woody Allen controversy? I would like to also know about that. And do you feel like Scarlett Johansson should receive as much backlash as she did right on social media this week? Let me know what you guys think. Let's see now. Alright. ScarJo, I love you, but learn to think. It feels inconsistent how Scarlett Johansson is defending Woody Allen despite his allegations, yet has slammed James Franco when he was accused of misconduct during the Women's March. Stuff like this is why people should learn that actors are not like the roles they play. And I find that, for once, anti-SJW and progressives have both joined forces to bash this woman and what she says. Also, do you have a celebrity crush on ScarJo? Not really. I mean, like, I might have some celebrity crushes. I don't know if I really would consider ScarJo in there. And especially nowadays, now that she would say stupid stuff like this, it's like, not really. And I do get a bit of the hypocrisy that she would call out someone like James Franco, but not Woody Allen. But again, it's understandable because Woody Allen did a lot more favors for ScarJo than James Franco. So there really is a bit of that. In fact, you could say maybe a bit of nepotism. Let's see. It does seem more common now than it's getting controversial for people defending for people they want to be proven innocent. Kind of like with Jim Cummings. Although it does seem at least nice to know that she does kind of care to help her friends and do what they can to help them be put back on their feet, even if it makes sacrifices. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, like, in her mind, she was probably thinking, I'm gonna be defending my friend. You know, that's probably her mentality in this, but in reality, it's like, I'm gonna be defending a guy who's been accused of a very terrible crime. You know, like, this could be something that, for ScarJo, she didn't think all the way through in this case. For some reason, Scarlett's words on this makes me less interested in Phase 4 and 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe more so than ever. First, Spider-Man has to leave because of Sony and Disney's conflict, and now this. Good luck with the upcoming Black Widow movie getting any numbers next year. Maybe they have good reason her character had to have a permanent fate in Endgame. Yeah, that, you know, that could be it. You know when things are bad when, like, excuse me, somehow my Porky Pig mode was a little bit on. But the funny thing is, you know when things are going to be really terrible for Scarlett Johansson when, like, she would say something that's so bad where even, like, the angry incels would side with Captain Marvel before siding with Black Widow. You know it's gonna be bad, because so far now it's like, yeah, you know, the great girl superhero of Marvel, Captain Marvel seems to look really good by now. You never know. Let's see. Where do we go here? Sounds as bad as when Roseanne made a racist tweet, which caused Roseanne reboot to be retooled. No. It's not as bad as that because, like with the Roseanne controversy, that was just Roseanne being Roseanne, aka being a full-on racist. You know, she was spreading hate. She was pretty much attacking someone. In this case here, she was actually defending someone. She was like Scarlett Johansson was not necessarily attacking anybody. She was just defending her friend. That's a major difference there. Let's see now. You know what? I think that whenever Scarlett Johansson says something stupid, I just want to recite a certain GTA meme. Oh, here we go again. Yeah, that does seem to be the case. Like, nowadays, I feel like that's kind of that's kind of the initial reaction that everyone gets whenever we would see headline news related to Scarlett Johansson. It's like, Scarlett Johansson just said, ah, crap, here we go again. All right, what does she say now? You know, we would get reactions like that. And let's see, I think we should be good with this one. All right, guys. So I think that should go and cover Scarlett Johansson's stupidity right over here. And with that said, let us go into the grand finale. Yes, we got our last story for this week. And yes, once again, we will go into a bit of a bonus miscellaneous, because this week we have received a whole bunch of major video game announcements, and there are a lot of them that really got a lot of people excited and immediately jumping onto their Switch into playing many different games. And yes, of course, what I will be talking about shall be the brand new Nintendo Direct. Yes, Nintendo Direct has made a lot of different major announcements that to this day people are still going out and talking about it. And reading from my source here, IGN, I'm going to go and list you many of the different announcements that have been made. So, it has been stated right over here that some of the things that they have announced, they have went onto little details regarding some of the games, including the upcoming Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Trials of Mana, Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age, Rogue Company, which is a new game from Hi-Rez Studios, which is going to be coming out in 2020, a new update for Tetris 99, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020, Diamond Machina, which there's also going to be a new demo that's going to be... A new demo that's going to be coming. Anyways, where was I? The Witcher 3, Witch Hunt Complete Edition, Dauntless, and many more different games that they slightly talked about or just briefly mentioned. But then also they have revealed that there's going to be a whole lot of ports that are going to be coming onto the Switch, which they have revealed that there's going to be Return of the Obra Dinn, there's going to be Tokyo Mirage Session, Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 64, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection, which will include Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, and Rogue. Then moving along to some of the bigger announcements, they discussed a little bit about Luigi's Mansion 3 and talked about a brand new mode called Scream Park. And Scream Park, it is stated that it will be 2 to 8 players can compete in a battle to capture the most ghosts, with the team being split by Luigi and Gooigi as the playable characters. Then following after that, we did get a little bit more information regarding a game called Town, which is now called Little Town Hero, and this is a highly anticipated game considering that this is the same people that brought you Pokemon Game Freak that will be developing this, which they have revealed that now there's going to be some brand new music in the game that is brought to us by the creator of Undertale, Toby Fox. Then following after that is going to be a free-to-play Kirby game, which is called Super Kirby Clash, which is now available on the Switch. Then following after that, they have revealed a cult classic is going to be coming to the Switch, which is going to be Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise, which is going to be available in 2020. And then also they have revealed that the original game, Deadly Premonition Origins, is also going to be coming out on the Switch as well. In fact, it's actually out now, in fact, if you want to go and get it. Then after that, this is a big one. We got some new info regarding Pokemon Sword and Shield. And unlike last times, we did not get any new information regarding a new waifu, because that seems to be the main thing with all these Pokemon Sword and Shield updates. It's like, every time there's a new update coming up, somehow there's a new girl character that would appear that the entire internet would just go absolutely crazy over. But this is not necessarily the case here. They have revealed a whole bunch of new options, one of which being that there is much more customization in the outfit of your avatar, so now you can really go and dress them however you want. There's also going to be a new mode called Pokemon Camp, which will allow trainers to camp with up to 4 players to build their friendships with their Pokemon and also improve their skills in battle. Then also, they even mentioned on the side that Pokemon trainers can camp at any time and will be able to play with any Pokemon they have caught on their adventures throughout the Galar region. Then there's also an element of cooking, and that's going to be a big part in the game, where it states Pokemon trainers will be able to cook up different types of curry rice depending on what ingredients are used. Featuring over 100 recipes, Pokemon trainers will have a lot to cook up and fill up in their curry decks. And then, of course, what Pokemon announcement wouldn't be without new Pokemon? Yes, we are introduced with a whole bunch of not a whole bunch, but a couple of brand new Pokemon. Woo boy, surprise cough attack. Alright, it's super effective. Anyways, let's get on to the new Pokemon, one of which being this little guy, which is a ghost Pokemon called Poltegeist, which is a little ghost that lives in a cup. And then we got a weird big blue bird by the name of Cramorant. I believe that's his name. Is it Cramorant? I just need to double check. Cramorant, yes, that's it. And let me just go back to little Cramorant right over here. So Cramorant is basically a water bird Pokemon. It's almost like a bit of a pelican type or a seagull type Pokemon. It's a water and flying type, and the best way to describe this Pokemon is imagine Becky from Finding Dory if she was blue. That's basically what you would get with Cramorant. And apparently has a new ability called what was it? Gulp Missile, where apparently like it has a fish in its throat and it can like spit it out and like bring it back and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much the big announcements that are coming with Pokemon Sword and Shield, which again is going to be coming out this November. So going back into the updates on Nintendo Direct, next up, what we also have is some brand new footage that they have shown for Animal Crossing New Horizons, in which they showed a little bit more with what you can do within the island and how some of the multiplayer aspects can work in the game. And then following afterwards, we got Xenoblade Chronicles, in which they have revealed the remake of the original game for the Wii U is going to be coming onto the Switch, called Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which is going to be coming out in 2020. Then next up, we got Overwatch. Yes, the popular and highly beloved Blizzard game is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. That's going to be coming out a little later, actually. Pretty soon. That's going to be coming on October 15th. So yes, if you want to play your favorite Overwatch characters on the Switch, soon you will be able to do so. But oh boy, our next one. Now, I think the next thing we're going to talk about is definitely going to be the biggest highlight. And if there's one thing that people have talked the most about anything that came out on this Nintendo Direct, it is without a doubt... Yes, folks, Sans is officially on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Technically, kind of. Not really, though. here's the thing. Yes, well, it's like, yes and no that Sans is on Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like, he is there, but not as a legitimate playable fighter, but as a Mii costume. You can actually go online and you can buy a costume for the Mii Gunner, where you can pretty much dress them up as Sans. But, as a bonus, if you do buy the costume of Sans, then you would also go and get a bonus soundtrack, which is a special Smash Bros. Remix of Megalovania. So it offers that for the, like a really sweet bonus for the Undertales fans. And you've probably seen on the internet people absolutely freaking out about the addition of Sans. That technically they do have a way of actually having Sans in Smash Bros. Ultimate, where you can actually have him fight off against people like Mario or Snake or Simon Belmont or Pikachu or Kirby and stuff like that. At least, the thing is, it's not officially Sans, but it is something. It is a thing. But then, of course, this was something that happened at the end of Smash Bros. Well, not at the end, but I mean, at the end of Nintendo Direct, that the creator of Smash Bros. Ultimate, oh crap, oh no, the name escapes me. I was about to say Shigeru Miyamoto, but I know it's wrong. Crap. Oh man, what? Chatwall, help me! Who is it? Sakurai, thank you. Yes, it was pretty much Sakurai that actually appeared and discussed a lot about Banjo-Kazooie, because there was a bit of a surprise twist of the fact that Banjo-Kazooie was available on the day of the Nintendo Direct. So now everyone is pretty much rushing to their Nintendo Switches, playing Smash Bros. Ultimate, and playing as Banjo-Kazooie, which I will talk a little bit more later. And, interestingly enough, as well, since they did talk about Smash Bros. Ultimate, they have also revealed the 4th downloadable character that's going to be coming, which is going to be none other than Terry. Yes, Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury has officially been revealed as the next downloadable character coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But wait! That is not all, though. That is not the only major announcement that they actually did reveal about it. If there's one thing that is more exciting than the fact that Terry is going to be coming to Smash Bros. Ultimate, they have also revealed that on top of the 5 downloadable characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, they will still continue making more afterwards. So they're not just going to stop at 5 downloadable characters. They will still go and continue to go and make more. So now the possibilities are still endless. We will still wait and see with what else that they can go and offer. So that is going to be something that I feel will be massively exciting. And I don't know about you, but that's probably my most anticipated thing that came out of everything that came out of this Nintendo Direct. And oddly enough, it's the thing that we don't know about, but still, more downloadable characters. That sounds amazing. And finally, going into the last update that we got here is actually going to be regarding the Nintendo Switch Online function, in which if you do have online on the Nintendo Switch, then you do have a little bit of a bonus where you can enter into a collection of old NES games, and you can play many of the classic games in there. However, they have revealed that not only can you play the classic NES games, but now you can also go and play many of the classic Super Nintendo games. Yes, the Super Nintendo games have now been added to the collection for Nintendo Switch Online. So now you can have your chance to go and play games such as Kirby's Dream Land 3, Super Mario World, A Link to the Past, Star Fox, F-Zero, and so much more. And on top of that, they also added a bonus that you can also go and buy a Super Nintendo controller for the Switch so that you can go and properly play those games on the Nintendo Switch. So that's pretty much all the big announcements there is. And a lot of them are pretty exciting, and I do get the hype on many of them, like having Overwatch coming to the Switch, considering they also have Fortnite, you know, all the Super Nintendo games that now people can go and play with them all over again. The Animal Crossing updates, the Luigi's Mansion 3 updates, some of the new things that they've revealed for Pokemon Sword and Shield, also the Xeno Chronicles remake, and so much more. But one thing that I do feel like is a massive highlight, of course, it has to be Smash. Like, the fact that they revealed a new DLC character, the fact that Sans is now a part of Smash, and also the fact that they brought out Banjo-Kazooie, that now he is officially released. And with Banjo-Kazooie, I might as well do a quick little review, because I did go and immediately downloaded the update on Smash Bros. To also have Banjo-Kazooie. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think I'm really digging it. I actually am pretty much digging Banjo-Kazooie and his fighting style. Now, my only criticism would be the fact that his recovery and his jumps, they are a bit disappointing, and they really are lacking, which is kind of surprising considering that he literally has a freaking bird on his back, in his backpack. But other than that, Banjo can really go pack a punch. Like, he is really strong, and he can also be pretty quick on his feet as well. You know, he really is a powerful character and can be pretty fun to play with as well. And so far, I would say he is my favorite downloadable character. Like, Joker was alright, and honestly, I am not a fan with what they have done with Hero. I just felt like it is pretty confusing, and it feels more like, if you want to win with that character, it feels more like there is more chance than there is skill with the guy. But with Banjo-Kazooie, you know, he really does feel like a good and strong character, and so far I'm having a lot of fun with the guy, and I do love all the different references, not just with the Banjo-Kazooie character themselves, but also with the Spiral Mountain stage, and I really like the new soundtracks that they have offered. They were really cool as well. So honestly, this is a great addition to Smash, and I think I can imagine for many longtime Nintendo fans, it really was worth the wait of having Banjo-Kazooie onto Smash Bros. It really is. Like, I can see this feeling like a massive dream come true with it. But like I said before, for me, if there is one massive highlight from all this, it's the announcement of more downloadable characters. I cannot wait to see what else is going to be offered, because yeah, there might be some that are a little bit lacking. Like, if you don't have a vast knowledge on video games, then it is kind of disappointing that there are characters that maybe you don't necessarily know, or maybe you've heard of once, like Hero from Dragon's Quest, or Terry from Fatal Fury. But honestly, now that they are opening up the options for more characters to add into Smash Ultimate, that makes me really excited. And I just gotta say this right now, but honestly, we need this to happen, man. I mean, if you're gonna bring in characters like freaking Sonic, like Simon Belmont, and all these guys, we need to bring in Crash Bandicoot. Come on, man. You know it's unavoidable. We need to make that battle happen. We need that classic battle of Nintendo versus Sony, and we gotta bring in Crash Bandicoot. You didn't put Crash in your PlayStation Smash Bros. Ripoff, so now you can bring in Crash onto Smash Ultimate. I mean, Crash has been on the Switch, especially with the remakes of the original games and also Crash Team Racing. So you gotta bring him on board with this. Come on. We gotta make this happen. And honestly, I cannot wait. I feel like the more chances we have that happening, the more I'm excited for it. So that's pretty much all that I feel like there is to cover on this Nintendo Direct update. I'm sure there's definitely a lot more, but I've pretty much covered everything there is to say. So now I would like to go and pass on to the chat wall, and I want to know from you guys, what was your biggest highlight of the Nintendo Direct that we've got this week? And what would you say are some of the announcements that you're excited for the most, or what you're trying out now? Let me know what you guys think. Let's see now. My favorite announcements are Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and the Smash news. Can't wait for future Smash fighters, and I'm glad Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash right now. Also, can't wait for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm getting the latter. Alright, that's nice. With Terry appearing in Smash Bros. Ultimate, this is going to be one of the few times Capcom has crossed over with SNK. Since SNK versus Capcom, SVC Chaos, the other time I could think of is Tekken 7 with a guest appearance of Akuma from Street Fighter and Geese Howard from KOF, King of Fighters. If Crash appears on Smash Bros. Ultimate, it would be the second time he faces Donkey Kong and Bowser because of Skylanders. Yeah, that could be true. I mean, there is already that connection, but we need to make that bigger connection, man. We need to make this happen. Let's see. At least Ness got into Smash early. If he hadn't been in 64, I doubt we would have ever seen any mother representation in Smash beyond the trophies and spirit. Well, technically we do have Lucas as well. There have been rumors of Mother 3 being localized for a while now. HAL Laboratory developed Smash 4 and co-developed Earthbound, which was like the deciding factor in Ness being a secret character. The original plan in Melee was to replace Ness with Lucas, but due to Mother 3's development problems, they brought it back to Ness. Well, at least we did get both. And I mean, like, even if they did do that, then in Smash Ultimate, we would have had both anyways. Let's see now. Imagine telling someone 3 years ago that Banjo, Terry Bogard, and Sans can fight each other in Dracula's castle. I was very excited to see DLC possibility beyond 2020, mostly because I'm still hoping for Professor Layton or Miss Pac-Man can get in. Maybe. I can see the potential in Professor Layton. Miss Pac-Man, I don't know. It just sounds like they're just going to go and create like an Echo Fighter or pretty much a clone of Pac-Man. Or they could just make a costume of Miss Pac-Man, you know. They could do they could do that. Let's see now. I'm happy for this. I'm excited to play as Banjo and Kazooie in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but I'm not a Nintendo Switch Online member yet, so I may not get the complete access to NES and Super NES games on the Switch. I'm happy for all of this. Okay, that's definitely nice. And, let's see. I'm sorry, but I can't give you a real answer. I'm still not over the fact that Sans in Super Smash Bros. It looks like memers have finally claimed victory. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. You know, like, the memes are starting to dominate Smash Bros. Ultimate. Soon, we're also going to be seeing SpongeBob, Shrek, and Gru coming into Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we're going to meme this whole thing up. Okay, but I think with all that said and done, that should pretty much cover the entirety of this AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. So with all that said and done, I would just like to say thank you all so much for watching. This has definitely been a blast of an episode, and I just want to cap this off by saying thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time, see you later, dudes!